Joe, it was 10 years ago, in fact, this week, that God Save the Queen was #2, and you just had top 40 with White Riot. What do you think of people like Billy Idol and John Rotten now?
Well, Billy I respect because we were guilty of patronising Billy when he was with Gen X, you know. We all thought he was a bit of a joke, you know. Truth must be told. And I respect Billy for going to New York and carving a new career for himself, and I think his records are pretty decent. But as for Rotten, I don't want to judge Johnny Rotten because he's very honest. You know, he won't bullshit you. I think Johnny Rotten is one of the greatest poets that have written in the English language. You know, I include Lord Byron.
Do you regret what happened with The Clash?
Well, I do because it was so stupid. But having said that, it's no more than any other new group will face. For example, drugs, ego, women. There's many things that can knock a band down, and I think we fell prey to all of those. For me, The Clash was over when Topper Headon was sacked for being a heroin addict.
So what actually happened, you know, how did it happen that Mick, who was, you know, the leader of the band with you, was thrown out?
Well, that was due to...
Whose fault was it?
Well, my fault. My ego. I tell you, there's no restraining an ego when it's rampant, you know, and when you have success, man, you know, I thought, because Mick wasn't, and he'll tell you himself, he wasn't being very cooperative. For example, say we're planning to do a tour, record an album, it would be, well, yeah, when Mick gets out of bed, you know, and that's quite annoying when you're full of energy. And so I was wound up to the state where I thought it would be best to get rid of Mick.
What do you think in terms of music changing? What do you think of the charts now? I mean, and what kind of music do you like?
Well, I'm not very technical, I'm not very synthesizer, I'm not very, you know, computer graph, video screen, check the sound out and duplicate it. But I don't want to be a Luddite, and I want to say that I'm into performance. It's just 4 humans going 1, 2, 3, 4. Playing the song together, which is how we made Clash records. Nowadays, you're technically perfect and you can stop the tape, you know, everything's coming out of little boxes. You do it one by one, bass, drums, this and that. You know, I do want to embrace the new world, but I think just a couple of things we might be missing, performance and content on the songwriting.
Tell me about Straight to Hell then.
I realise Straight to Hell is like pure rubbish, but we know it's rubbish. And we don't want to sell it under any other name. And I think people will pick up on the fact that we're saying this is rubbish, but it's worth a laugh, rather than being conned into going to see Mona Lisa or Round Midnight or any of those critical faves, which are just Zedsville, as far as I'm concerned.
Has your lifestyle sort of changed radically, do you think, over the last 10 years, you know, since all the kind of punk thing happened? Do you look at yourself now and think, I couldn't envisage myself being like this 10 years ago?
Yeah, it has. I mean, for example, I've got two girl daughters, you know, beautiful children, 3 and 1. And also, like, I've managed to put a mortgage down on a house when I used to squat. And everything's changed, you know. It's not just me.
Would you get the Clash back together now if you could?
Yes, I would, yeah.